This is the question that I've put on dating profiles that has been the most fascinating study in human beings. I ask, do you want to be fully known? And the range of responses is just, it's a full psychology experiment. It should be. Because they have ranged from absolutely not, paraphrasing, but essentially those words, absolutely not, to absolutely, and then everything in between. And the things in between that aren't the absolutes are like, yes, but only to my partner. Or yes, but only if someone has earned it. And even then, I remember someone saying that and then qualifying it with, but in the end, who can ever truly earn the full trust to fully know you? And I just thought it was fascinating, like the number of people that saw this notion of being known so differently. And why? Because it's like, if someone doesn't want to be fully known for any reason, anyone short of absolutely doesn't want some part of them to be known. And it's like, why? And if there wasn't a fear of something, if there wasn't a risk of something, then there wouldn't be a desire to not be fully known. Some can say, no, I just want to keep some things to myself, because that was an answer as well. But it's still like, why? What is it about ourselves that we want to hide? Because if we live in a world where we were fully accepted, let's say that was the baseline. There's no war, there's no hate, there's no discrimination. There's just pure acceptance and love of everyone exactly as they are, like humans didn't know how to judge. Like, would people still want to keep things to themselves? If there was no, even if you were like, I want to kill someone, people are like, okay. Like, I don't know what happens if they then go do that, but I'm just saying, let's say that was like the world we lived in, where any thought could be expressed without any judgment. Like, would people still want to hide? And this begs the question for me, because I very much know that I want people in my life who want to be fully known, certainly as a partner. And I have people in my life who are not fully known to me, but at least they desire it. Even if they're still working up the courage and the openness or the willingness to be that open. But the people in my life desire it, as far as I know. And that, to me, opens up a world of possibility. It opens up endless possibility, because every single person is a whole world. And if you are amongst people who want to be known, that creates safety in and of itself. Because people who want to be known by others know what they're seeking. They are seeking safety and acceptance and care and love. And even if they have their own internal challenges to work through around worthiness, around enoughness, around fear of judgment, around rejection, around, just not being like good, because we're taught from such a young age that good is good and bad is bad, right? And you want to be good, not bad. This binary, that it's so impossible to divorce it from what we understand about life and existence. But no matter what you choose on the spectrum of absolutely not and absolutely, I think it's important for each of us to consider for ourselves, even if it's privately, whether being known is something we want for ourselves, is something that we are willing to risk, is something that we care to experience in this world, in this life. Because inevitably, in a world where humans do judge, because that other world where humans don't judge doesn't exist, to be fully known is to know that you are in part going to be rejected. Because not everyone is going to like every part of you. You may not even like every part of you. I love every part of me, but I don't like every part of me per se, because there are things that I wish were different. But I love myself wholly. So there's a distinction between that. But inherently, there's no one's perfect, and every single person's lens for judgment is different. So of course, how we each judge each other is going to be different. So one person may think you're perfect, and the other person may think you're completely backwards. And so to be fully known is to be fully exposed. And to be fully exposed is to be potentially fully judged for everything that is exposed. And to be judged is to open yourself up to other people to come to draw conclusions around whether they think you are good, bad, and everything in between. But in the end, if you desire to be fully known, the gift is that you have lived as your full, exposed, 100% present, pure self in the world. That you didn't hide anything. That you were brave enough to step forth and say, this is me. I am here to be exactly as I am, no matter what comes my way. And the gift of that, because that to me is already a massive gift in this world. And if you don't think it's a gift, at minimum, it's a fucking adventure to go forth in this life and be fully you in it. But what that can then facilitate and allow is for other people in the world to give you the gift of acceptance, of care, of love, no matter who you are, or not no matter, maybe because you are who you are. That they see you in all of your gloried flaws and beauty and neutral traits. And they love you. And they accept you. And they want to be around you. Then they might tell you when you're being an asshole. And they might tell you when something that you do doesn't sync with them. And then the two of you get to figure out how to resolve that. Because what they like in you might be something that you're like, well, this is me. What are we going to do about it? Or it might be something that you're like, okay, yeah, that is something that I can work on. But for now, this is kind of where I am, but I promise you I'll work on it. The one thing that is, actually, there's a few things that are absolutely true in this life, that we will all die, that we will all live some kind of life, but also that we were all imperfect. Which you can also say that, like, we are all perfectly imperfect, right? We are perfect as we are. But I think in the kind of textbook definition of perfect, none of us are perfect. And yet we hide to try to project the closest thing we can to whatever we have deemed is the okay form of perfection to present to the world. An okay enough form of perfection. That even though inherently we know how flawed and imperfect we are, that we'll still try and hide a little bit of it, just so it's not so bad. So we don't come off and people don't perceive us as the total fuck-ups that we think we are. But it doesn't matter whether we are a fuck-up or whether we're a genius. That's a judgment. And to be fully known is to allow ourselves to exist in this world regardless of judgment. And if we never ask ourselves that question of whether we want to be fully known and really investigate the answer, our training, our programming in society will carry us. From our parents to our communities, to our families, to our communities, to our friends, to our schooling, to our workplaces, to our peer groups. They will carry us in a set of behaviors towards hiding, masking, adjusting, evolving ourselves for the sake of not feeling embarrassed, ashamed, judged, rejected, because those affect our basic human needs of belonging. But it doesn't mean that we can't belong if we are our full selves. We're just trying to prevent the feeling of not belonging by hiding parts of ourselves. But the truest form of belonging, the purest form of belonging, is when you can be 100% you, anywhere, with anyone, at any time, no matter the circumstances, no matter what pressure you are dealing with. That is the ultimate kind of belonging, because that's the tribe that I want to be in. Those are my people who see me, who accept me, who want to know all of my flaws and all of my strengths and all of my disgusting, dumb, absurd things and my beautiful, incredibly kind things and everything in between, and will be like, I embrace you, I love you, and I want you around in my life. And so when people are like, no, absolutely not, I don't want to be known, I'm like, why? But I'm not judging. I understand the world makes it very hard. But that's the work, y'all. That is the life. Is how do we show up as ourselves, expose ourselves, be willing to play this game, fight this fight, live this life 100% true to who we are, and let other people see it? And how do we help others do the same? How do we model what we wish the world looked like? Because that's a gift we can give to other people. The presence of your own 100% true self, as well as you showing up to want to fully know other people's 100% true self. I'm like, wouldn't the world be an incredible place if we all wanted to be fully known and we fully showed up and accepted each other? So, do you want to be fully known?